Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to this match preview for this weekend's League 2 fixture. It's Stockport County against Doncaster Rovers. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this match preview. Doncaster Rovers travelling to Stockport County in League 2. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much. We're so close to 3,000 subs. We're about 140 away now. So your support to this channel is greatly appreciated. If this video has brought you to the channel and you're new and you like what you see, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss any future content and help us on the way to the 3,000. It would be greatly appreciated too. If you are new to the channel, this is the format that we go through match previews. We look at previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I say a few words about a Doncaster Rovers player. I choose the opponent's one to watch, but as I always say, you know your club much better than what I do. So if there's somebody else who we should be watching out for in tomorrow's fixture, as Rovers fans who may not know Stockport County, please let us know in the comments down below. And then we finish the video off with 3 predictions. The predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub. Me and the family have got predictions league table, so there's an update on that, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Stockport and Donny have faced off a total of 82 times in our history. Rovers coming out on top on 35. We've shared the spoils on 14 and Stockport have won 33 of the 82 meetings. So fairly even. There's only 2 games in it. So tough one to call on this one. If we drill down into more recent 5 fixtures though, I say recent, we have to go back to 1996 in the FA Cup and the League Trophy, where Rovers lost both of those games, 1 home and 1 away, both 2-1 defeats. But in more recent history, 2004-2005 and earlier this season, it's been much happier hunting for the Rovers with a 3-1 win, a 4-2 win which I would snatch your hand off for tomorrow, and then a 2-1 win earlier on this season. But I'd take that, to be honest. Bit of a tough patch which we will go into later in the video. Stockport looking good, which we will go into more detail later on in the video. But yeah, anything other than a defeat I would be more than happy with tomorrow. But looking at more recent history, Rovers edge it with a 3 wins and 2 defeats back in 96, but overall it's about as even as you're going to get. That takes me on to current form, and Rovers, we had a decent period with 3 wins on the bounce, 3 clean sheets, but that has quickly gone. The inconsistencies have reared their ugly head once again with 2 defeats on the bounce. Stockport, on the other hand, 4 wins coming into this one and a defeat in their last game, so slightly better form over the last 5 games. For the Rovers, after such a good run of games that I mentioned, the 3 wins on the bounce, 3 clean sheets, that inconsistency has returned with 2 defeats, no goals, and just a lack of creativity. For me, in my opinion, it was a poor showing against Bradford. I was very disappointed in the way that we didn't take the game to them. We allowed Clayton with bags of time, and we know as Rovers fans, if he's got time, he's got the quality and ability to hurt teams. But if he's pressed hard and quick, then it'd crumble, and we just didn't do it. So very frustrating in the way that we approached the game at Bradford, especially being at home, and ultimately we were second best for huge parts of the game and didn't deserve anything, and that's just what we got. Absolutely nothing in that one. Disappointing as well because it was a big crowd, so you'd like to think that some of those new fans, new customers, however you want to look at it, or potentially the ones that come for the bigger games, bigger occasions, would want to come back and see more. But there was just nothing on show for me that would pull anybody back who was sat on the fence at the minute. So very disappointing the last time out for the Rovers. I think personally we need to provide Miller with a lot better service because it becomes far too easy to defend against. In League 2, 2 big defenders, one goes touch tight. Even if Miller gets the nod on, there's nobody there mopping it up apart from the other centre-back. So yeah, I think we've become very easy to defend against. Jury's still out for me with Danny Schofield. I was at the meet of the owners. I thought the presentation that him and Cops did was fantastic. It was very educational. I can see what he's trying to do, but for me, you've got to applaud him on sticking with his philosophy, sticking with his style of play, and wanting to drill that in. I think in football especially, you do need to have a couple of philosophies as a manager and be able to be versatile and have that plan B. I'm not seeing it at the minute. We need to mix it up a little because I fear that we are becoming too predictable, and when you're predictable, you're easy to play against, and I think we are finding that in a couple of games more recently. So hopefully he's working on a plan B. Bit of positive news coming out of the Rovers with a couple of contracts being signed, so who knows, we may be moving in the right direction. Irons in the fire for summer to get some decent recruits in that can play the Danny Schofield football, which I think will bring its rewards in time. But you want to see success and progress straight away as a football fan. Moving on to Stockport, they've hit a fine run of form recently, and that's catapulted them into the playoff picture, which hit a speed bump last week, all being said, with a 1-0 defeat at Barrow. 5 wins on the bounce came before that. The most notable was a 2-0 home win against high-flying Stevenage, so they're showing the calibre of the way that they can play, so not to be underestimated in this one. The playoff picture is very, very congested. It sees Stockport smack bang in the middle of it, in 5th on 54 points, but something that I found interesting is that Stockport have the joint second least amount of draws in the league this season, tied with Barrow on 6, 2 games ahead of Doncaster with 4 draws this season. So I think it's safe to say don't put your money on a draw in this one. On to player profile for this video, I've gone with one of the new contract signees. I've gone with Kyle Hurst, and I think he's been fantastic. 21 years old, left winger, and for me he's been one of our top performers this season, just in my opinion. 7 goals across all competitions. I think he can get defences on the back foot. He's got close control, he drives at defences. What I would like to see Kyle work on and progress and improve on is just be a bit stronger on the ball. For me, he gets knocked off a bit too easy, but that's because he's quite a lightweight player. But I think he's got huge potential, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come. Just signed until the summer of 2025, so it's nice to see us tying down players before they get into that final year of the contract, and then potentially losing them like we did with Kyle Noyle to Stockport. I think you need to keep your better players if you're going to progress on the pitch, and Kyle is definitely one of those. For me, the opponent's one to watch. As I said at the start of the video, you know your club much better than what I do, so if there's somebody else that we should be watching out for, please get him in the comments down below. But I have gone with Kyle Wootton in this one. 26 years old, centre forward, 40 appearances, 11 goals, 7 assists. And Kyle is Stockport's highest contributor of goals. Not only is he, I think he's second top goal scorer, he's the top creator of goals, so I think a lot of Stockport's play does come through Kyle at some point, either at the end of a decent passage of play and he's putting it in the back of the net, or it goes through him where he can find that killer pass through to likes Paddy Madden, who's one to watch. Obviously Kyle Noyle, we know what he's capable of down the right hand side. I think they've got a really good squad that's connecting really well at Stockport, and I think it's going to be a tough game. But for me, I always have to choose one, and in this case it's Kyle Wootton. But please, in the comments down below, let us know who we should be watching out for and why. Moving on to the predicted team lineup. So for this one, this is thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features to get your teeth stuck into. You get rewarded for following your club. Can't fault it. So for my predicted team lineup for tomorrow's game, I've gone with Mitchell in goal, a back three of Oluwu, hopefully he signs a contract soon, Nelson and Anderson. On the right hand side, James Brown. On the left, Tommy Rowe. I'm not sure where Maxwell was in the last game, but I think if Maxwell's fit, I'd sooner see him there. I thought we were struggling on the left hand side a little bit. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Ben Close and Harrison Biggins, with Molyneux and Hurst just in front of them, supporting George Miller. They do need to get tighter. I'd love to see 2 up top, but I just can't see it in the Danny Schofield style of play. And George Miller up top on his own, he's got to capture that form sooner rather than later. And I think sometimes you've got to trust your striker, even if he's going through a tough patch. You've got to trust him, and hope and pray that something goes in off his backside or something, just to give him that boost of confidence. But yeah, he needs that support, and he needs proper creativity, proper balls in that he can actually do something with. But hopefully that's the 11 that starts and gets us something from Edgeley Park in tomorrow's fixture. Onto the predictions league table. So if you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every single league game. If we get spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the outcome of the game right but not the scoreline, we get 1 point. If we get completely wrong, it's no points. I'm not doing very well this season. Rock bottom, 11 points. My dad, he went with a 2-0 defeat against Bradford. We got beat 1-0, so he gets the 1 point, pulls a little bit further away from me on 13 points. Chris and Max went with wins. So obviously get no points, but they are well clear, joint top on 21 points. So hopefully, well, in this case, I hope I'm wrong, but we never know. I need to get some points, definitely, quickly. And that takes me on to my score prediction for this one. I think Stockport are in the ascendancy, although they got beat on Saturday. I think they're coming into this in much better form, or much more consistent form than what the Rovers are. I'm struggling to see where we're going to create goals or finish them off when we do create chances. So because of the home advantage as well, it's going to be a tough place to go. The fans will be behind Stockport, and it pains me to say it, but I think we're going to have a very rough afternoon. So I'm going with a damaging 3-1 defeat. As I say, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm miles off the mark on this one, but I just feel that we are lacking in a lot of things that Stockport currently have, and because of that, I'm going to have to go with a defeat. Always try and remain balanced when doing the videos. Predict with my head, not my heart. My heart says 2-1 win, but we'll go with a head, 3-1 defeat in this one. And that's where I'm going to leave it. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please help us on the way to 3,000 subs. No match vlog this weekend, unfortunately, but there is a 72 review, so please join us on that 6:30 on Sunday. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.